Welcome to Wealth Beyond the White Coat, a show where we dive deep into the world of financial freedom for dentists and medical professionals. I'm your host, Darren Flesher, a dentist with a passion for uncovering the strategies that lead to a prosperous life beyond the office. Every episode will explore the avenues of alternative investing, tax mitigation, and secrets to build wealth that the textbooks don't teach you. Whether you're looking to enhance your financial literacy, discover new investment opportunities, or simply find a better way to manage your money, this is the place where your financial health is the core of our conversations. Welcome to Wealth Beyond the White Coat, where your journey to financial clarity and freedom begins. Okay, welcome to the final part of our conversation with Dr. Emily Letran. I hope you've been enjoying this conversation as much as I did. In the first two episodes, we learned about Emily's remarkable journey, her insights on personal growth, and her strategies for achieving high performance and balance as a healthcare professional. In this final episode, we'll shift gears to focus on leadership, the value of mentoring, and Emily's practical advice for building, growing, and transitioning successful dental practices. So let's dive into the final chapter of this inspiring conversation. I want to shift gears again here with you. You mentioned a minute ago, baby shower. It reminded me, you talked earlier about having 3 kids. I remember that when we talked previously, you mentioned that your daughter's starting to work with you. I'd love to know how that element has influenced the way you're coaching and the way you're leading within your practice. How has that dynamic shift, or maybe it hasn't, but how has it influenced what you guys are doing and how you are running your practices and coaching others?
Yeah, it's a blessing. She graduated last year from UCLA. So that's exactly 30 years from mom, from the
Yeah.
same school, having some of the same teachers. That's the scary part, right? Uh,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. But the thing that there's a fun part where it reminds me of me, right? She reminds me of me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I really didn't know what I was doing or whatever it is, right? I
Sure.
told what I told someone she was doing her first prep and I said, I'm assisting you, right? And I'm
Hmm.
standing there with a suction and where she under prep, I take the suction and I tap on the tooth. So she
Hmm.
know, okay, look at this one. You gotta cut more. When they say when you can teach, you get better,
Hmm.
right? So now you're looking at someone who is young, very much moldable, right? You can teach her, you can coach her, and seeing the development, how much she changed over. So she's been working with me for about a year. She graduated a little bit more than a year. And to see, for example, the staff is now texting her, asking questions. The associate doctors are texting her. They don't text me, which is great. Uh,
Yeah.
to see that this authority thing that I talk about, it's transferable, right? Just because she's
Hmm.
my daughter, everybody knows she graduated a year ago. But
Right.
now they're asking her the practice question, right?
Hmm.
That's awesome. And for me to be able to help her grow, I think it's a blessing, right? I know not everyone can do that. But what that does is it helped me help me get that perspective on the younger doctors and how important it is to be a mentor and how important it is to get a mentor. Because again, sometimes I'm in one office, she's in the other one, and she may be texting me, what should I tell the patient? And again, it could be, it's a clinical question, but with differential diagnosis, right?
Hmm.
She may think of 2 things that are wrong, and I come in with a third one.
Hmm.
So when we start working and thinking of ourselves as a mentor, and what I mean by this is when you with your staff, right? How much can you teach your staff? Your staff are not diagnosing, but you can certainly teach your staff, okay, this is
Yeah.
what a big cavity look like. This look like a cyst.
Yeah.
This look like grinding or whatever it is. When
And
you
this is what I'd
empower,
normally do here. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, when you empower your team, so they know more, the whole office has just got raised up to another level. And that's why I say when you go to CE courses, take your team, but take them to
Hmm.
the right one. Okay, don't take them to a clinical one and then everybody fall asleep and then you get upset because I've made that mistake too, right? Take them to the one that is relevant to them. And when you have that mindset to grow, so when I'm coaching doctors now, it's not just, you know what, doctor, you should do this, right? But have you told your team this? Have you challenged your team? Have you given them these tasks? Have you forced them to grow? Force. These are the things that make your life better. So
Hmm.
I think it. it gave me that perspective. I already have that before as part of my coaching, but to have my daughter growing every day and working alongside her on certain days, it's valuable. And I encourage, especially if the doctors are older, start thinking about having someone as a mentee, adding an associate. If you want to sell your office in a few years, it adds so much value because it is an associate run office. If you want to take that long vacation that we talk about, you got somebody to step in. You may say she cannot do whatever case. Okay, then schedule accordingly. On the day that she's there, just do the lighter schedule or don't put a 6 unit bridge on there or whatever that you want to look over their shoulder for that. But they can certainly prep multiple crowns. They just take one at a time, right? So don't think that they can't do stuff. You just need to have the patience and let them make mistakes sometime, as long as they're not hurting the patient, right? They
Mhm.
may take an hour to do a prep just because they're sitting there dinking around. But if that's what they need, then let them have that hour. And so I think you learn to be more patient. At the same time, you learn to be more ambitious because now you see, hey, if I have somebody like this in my office, or if I want to have grow my team, there's a lot more other things I can do. Go invest in real estate.
Yeah. And speaking of investing, and you mentioned a minute ago an associate driven practice and building the value there. I know you've bought and sold many practices, I think approaching double digits now. Maybe you've surpassed that. What specific strategies did you use to maximize the value of those practices, both while you own them, but also when you're transitioning out of them? You talked about empowering people, delegating, obviously leadership and coaching. Can you talk a little bit more about those types of things specific to building a practice to be the most valuable version of a practice, whether you're planning to retain and
Mhm.
maintain it or whether you're looking to sell it?
Yeah, so I've done 8, so it's not quite 10. It's funny how people are still sending me leads. Okay, there's this practice and this practice, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done for right now. Just hold
Yeah.
on. I think before you say, okay, I'm going to sell a practice or whatever, I think if you have that mindset of growth, right? The high performance, whatever you will do, you want to do it at your best. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a 3-op office and people
Mhm.
say, I'm working 5 days and this is how all I can grow. I think I want to go to move to a bigger space. You're working 5 days. What if you work 7 days? Not you. What if the practice is open 7 days? What if you can find somebody who want to work Saturday, Sunday? Which I'm in Southern California. There are practices that do that, right?
Sure.
Just because
Yeah.
you open 2 more days doesn't mean you're working 2 more days. That could be
Hmm.
somebody else, an associate coming in or a specialist. Or maybe you want to extend your hours. If you're working 9 to 5, maybe you want to work 7 to 6. Again, you're not the one working those hours. You get somebody to work those particular hours. So now this is one way to maximize. And this is how I look at a practice. I look at the hours that the doctor work, how much work the doctor does. And if I see the potential to increase that and the location is pretty good, I may be buying that practice because I know immediately how to raise the value. I bought a practice back in 2004. On paper, it was minus 200, which of course this cannot be minus 200 because it wouldn't be running,
Right.
right? And
Right.
I went in there and I saw they have some specialists and they have a lot of staff. And I needed to do a 1031 exchange. So I go, okay, I'm selling that office, I'm buying this office. And I actually offer 200,000 above price, right? Because I needed a 1031 exchange, right? And in a year, it became $1 million office. And it's not so much me doing a whole lot of stuff, it's because I already see all the waste. I already see how people are not really producing. So if I go in there and I change it into a productive office, I know that it's gonna grow, right? And the other thing is I told everyone if we get to 1 million, we're going to Hawaii. And I mean everybody were just like working hard and they were pushing it.
Are you overwhelmed by dental school loans or practice related debt, credit cards, mortgage payments, car loans, and more? Imagine a future where your financial burdens are not just reduced, but on track to be eliminated entirely. That's what our soon to be launched solution offers, a powerful, tailored version of the Shred method designed specifically for dentists. This isn't your typical debt reduction strategy, it's a groundbreaking approach to managing cash flow, cutting down interest payments and accelerating your journey to financial freedom. With this new method, you'll discover how to optimize your income and debt management like never before, keeping more of your hard-earned money where it belongs. Want to be among the first to take advantage of this innovative debt solution? Contact me at darren@legacypointgroup.com. That's DEREN at legacypointgroup.com to join the waiting list and stay in the loop. Your journey to a debt-free life is just around the corner. Stay tuned. Yeah.
So I bought it in, I think it was July 2004, and we went to Hawaii in 2006, right?
Okay.
Because we gave it about 12 months. Okay, we got to get to the $1 million. And of course, we changed the schedule. Of course, we changed how we book. So everything we do is intentional. And so if you have that mindset, if let's say you say, okay, I average 3,000 a day, just for example, the production. How can I get to 3,500? How can I get to four? And if you have a five, 6,000, $10,000 day, you ask yourself, how do I replicate this? Is this just happened by chance? Or this patient I've been talking about, full mouth rehab or whatever, or 6 veneers in the front, and this person finally say yes. So look at the data, look at how you can replicate things. Like people always try to figure out the new thing and the new technique. Sometimes it's just about going back to your office, look at your patients, all the treatment plan you diagnose, all the cosmetic dentistry, and just go from there. I tell people if I look at a practice and the age, average patient age is, let's say, 35 to 50, and I look and nobody does clear aligners, there's your gold. That's the age for clear aligners. This doctor does 5 a year. If I can do 15 more, just for example, you take
Right.
15 times 5,000, right? Which is whatever
Yeah.
the number is, 75,000 or whatever. And so I just add, I can see that I can add 75,000 to this practice. So it's very simple things. It's things that we already know. It's putting it together and maximizing it. And I personally think, I know there's a lot of older doctors and they practice and they're solopreneurs and they love it. Yes, it's just harder to sell. If you think all of your patient and all of your patients are growing up with you and they're all about your age and you retire, nobody want to go see me because I'm 20 years younger, right? Because you need to, if you're older, you need to bring in the younger patients. So when you retire, not all your patients are retiring and leaving or dead, right? Because you have this constant flow of new patients, younger patients. So I think it really has to do with always trying to do your best, always with the growth mindset and understand the marketing in the sense that what helps sell a practice.
Yeah.
A lot of time they say if you're going to sell, you need to look at least 3 years before and start ramping it up because a lot of people slow down or they in their comfort zone, so they just stay there and it's easy. And so always striving to grow so that when you sell or transition or whatever, you're going to be in a better shape. And for me, I actually don't think you need to sell.
No.
You can just put associate in there and then just grow the practice. Some of the practices I sell, because I move, I don't want to be a DSO and I don't want to drive an hour. So I
Yeah.
have my own reason though. So again, if you have the clarity and you know what you want, you don't care what people say. Like, oh, you should have 3 or 4 or 5 practices. Yeah, I know, but that I don't want that. That's not my goal. To be comfortable with what you want, but at the same time, understand that if you have that room to grow, the potential to grow, just reach for the stars.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I think if people would build their practice with selling in mind, they might find that they actually just enjoy their practice and they don't need to sell at all.
Right.
There's a show, I think it's an HGTV show that I've seen a couple episodes of a few years ago. I think it was called Love It or List It. And
Okay.
that's one of those things where they do a little bit of a rehab, but they're also looking for basically the home that has the thing that they're about to do to their own home. And some of them end up selling because they're just too, tired of keeping up with whatever they have. But a lot of them end up staying because they finally built the thing that they love about their home and they want to stay there. So I think if you apply that to your dental practice, the same rules apply. If you just build what you want to work in, you're going to find that I don't need to move on from this thing. I enjoy what I'm doing. There's nowhere I'd rather be. I've already built the thing I wanted to work in. So why move? Why sell? So I think always building to sell, you in that place where you've got optionality and you've got the ability to continue to do what you're doing without feeling like you need to, but you still got that in your back pocket. So I think that's important to have that mindset of building it to be something you enjoy. And then if you
Mhm.
no longer do, or if you move, like you said, it's ready to go. So I think that's really smart and important to work towards as a practice owner.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I want to add is to do what you like, right? Several years ago, I just come in one day and say, I am no longer doing root canals, right?
Yeah.
And my staff were, why? I said, I don't like doing root canals. They said, what if it's an anterior? And I said, I just don't want to do root canal. And so I just decided I'm not doing root canals anymore. And then when my friends asked me, you're so happy still as a dentist after 32 years, I said, oh, it's probably because I don't do what I don't like. And what people do though is sometimes they don't want to do certain things. They force themselves to do it, or they refer it out, and now you lose that income, potential income.
Mhm.
Instead of bringing in a specialist who can do that, yes, you do have to manage the specialist. Yes, you do. You split the income with the specialist, but now patients stay in the office, and you can still do what you don't like, right? And a lot of time dentists would tell me, but I don't want to have to deal with another doctor. To me, that's growth, though. It's the same thing as when you add another staff, right? And if you have respect, mutual respect, and you have some guidelines, hey, doctor, you want to schedule a certain way or you want to charge a certain fee, and I think I can do that or I cannot do that. You set those guidelines and then you can just be in the office. What is it, a symbiotic kind of
Mhm.
relationship? Like sometimes my staff would say, okay, we don't like that oral surgeon or whatever, whoever the specialist is, because he's this and that. And I said, you only have to tolerate him or her one day a month.
Right. Hey, I just want to interrupt real quick and say thanks for listening to the podcast. If you didn't know, we have an associated Facebook group also called Wealth Beyond the White Coat. Over there, you can ask your questions, get feedback from group members, and have a close community of medical professionals who are likely interested in the same things as you. Whether it's alternative investing, tax mitigation, ways to keep more of your money, or even protect your assets, we're going to discuss those things in the group. Additionally, we have a private investors club called Legacy Point. As a member, you'll get exclusive discounts to preferred vendors, and you'll get access to private investments that you'll find nowhere else. Whether it's hotels, apartments, oil and gas, equipment rental, you name it, we'll be discussing those details and offering those investments to members only inside Legacy Point Group. If you want to learn more about that, please contact me or simply email info at legacypointgroup.com or go to the website legacypointgroup.com. And Wealth Beyond the White Coat podcast listeners get an exclusive discount if you use the code WealthBeyond. That's all caps, all together, Wealth Beyond at checkout. I'd love to have you in the group, and I'd love to see you making more passive income as you move towards financial freedom, whether it's freedom to retire early, spend more time with your family, go on more vacations, or just do more of what you love while you're in the operatory. I'd love to see you doing that as part of Legacy Point. So here's to improving your financial health.
You can just one day a month because he comes in and it's a $30,000 day or 20,000, whatever it is, right? He comes in and he does a lot of production, so just put up with it, right? And this is of course training your staff, right? Coaching your staff. This is the day where you do this. This is the day ortho come in and you may have to see 60 patients. You just have to turn the room really fast, but he comes in once or twice a month. If every day you have to see 60 patients, that's a totally different story, and you have to set it up a different way. So for me, when you have that growth mindset, sometimes what people think is like they have to really grow. No, sometimes it's growing your team and growing who's working with you and the experts that will come in and help you. And I think that's where the kind of gap is, because people always think, oh, you mean you want me to work 12 hours a day? You want me to work 7 days a week? You want me to do this, that? No, I want you to have your business like that. And then you figure out how to do that if that's what you want. If you want to
Yeah.
hyper grow, those are some of the things you do, is to open more hours. So the patient have to come in. They cannot tell you, oh, I need an early appointment or late appointment. I have the early or the late appointments, and now you just have to come in. Otherwise, it's just an excuse, right? Aware of those things because there's so many people who tell me, I need to go and move to a bigger space. And then they're working 9 to 3 or some weird hours like that, where you're
Mhm.
going to have patients who want to come in the evening, or on Friday you leave early, whatever it is, because you haven't even maximized the space, right? That you
Mhm.
already in.
Yeah, I think we've chatted about a lot here today. I appreciate you sharing things about your refugee story, being a woman, being a mom, entrepreneur, multiple practice owner, coach. There's a lot we didn't get to that I wanted to. Real estate, investing, multi-practice ownership. I might have to bring you back for another session here, but I want to be respectful of your time. I appreciate you coming on and giving us quite a bit of it today and a ton of valuable information. If people are interested in the things you talked about here today, maybe want to learn more about you or the coaching services you offer, how could people connect with you?
Yeah, they can go to coachroi.com. So COACHROI.com. There's a 18 minutes video on there that my friend interviewed me, and we're talking about the mindset and the dentist and how important it is to grow and how important it is to make courageous decision. A little bit of what we talk about today. And then there's a couple of questions. What are you trying to grow? Is it your staff? Is it your practice? Is it location? Or is it you want to grow yourself? And just submit the form. And then we'll set up an appointment. We get on the call. I usually call it um, a work less, make more call. So people come on there and they may have one challenge, and I will help them solve that. And then I'll let them know if they think that it may be beneficial or fitting for us to work together.
Okay, awesome. Emily, thanks for coming on today. I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of value from the things you shared. I'd love to have you back on again in the future, but I
Sure.
appreciate your time today. And I think we'll wrap up there for this episode. So I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time and setting up this platform so we can all share our strategies and insights and stories. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for listening in to Wealth Beyond the White Coat. Your time and attention mean a lot to us. If you found value in today's episode, please consider leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform and share it with your colleagues and friends. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more professionals like you striving for financial freedom. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of your financial health. Thank you for joining us on this journey to wealth beyond the white coat.